Let's assume you're sitting at your computer trying to access www.cisco.com. You open your browser and type in www.cisco.com. What actually happens? Well, one of the first things that happens is that your internet browser utilizes the HTTP protocol, which is at layers 5 through 7, executes what is called an HTTP GET request for http://www.cisco.com. Now, of course, this name is converted into an actual address somewhere along the way, which is handled by DNS. The DNS lookup process is not shown in this conversation map. I'm just trying to give you an idea as to how a conversation actually takes place. So we'll assume at this point that DNS resolution has taken place. This computer knows how to get to this web server, which is cisco.com. The important thing about it is the HTTP protocol, which is layers 5 through 7. This protocol passes its data down through the appropriate transport protocol, which in this case is TCP. The TCP protocol is our layer 4 element, which is going to do all of our connections, establishing our initial virtual session, and is going to make sure that we're using the right ports. It's going to establish both a source port and a destination port for the purposes of this conversation. Now, the destination port for World Wide Web is always port 80. That's what this receiver is listening on. So the HTTP service that is running on this receiver actually is listening on this address, port 80. I'm going to use port 1084 as randomly chosen address above 1024, which I will use for return trip traffic when it comes back to me from the receiver. Well, in this case, I must now pass my layer 4 TCP data down to the IP protocol. The IP protocol actually handles all of the addressing and the routing from this source to this destination. In this particular case, we're going to see a source and a destination address being added to the equation. The TCP IP port and the source and destination address are what are being used. Now this is my source address, 18.99.44.28. Notice my port, which was the source port from layer 4. The destination address, which was resolved somewhere up here with DNS, is 207.46.249.222 with port 80. The combination of these two elements actually creates what is known as a socket. This is our socket-to-socket connection. Remember, we talked about that every layer provides support for the same layer on the opposite side. Well, TCP to TCP requires socket-based communications that allows web services to talk to each other, web client to web server, and so forth. So, now I have a socket that can be used. I've got almost all of the information which is necessary to move this data packet across the network. But I am still lacking one thing, and that is I need to have a MAC address.